Hello everybody, and welcome back to Rain Check. We had we touched base with Ro at the hospital, right? It was that seems cute. I like them as a couple. I do have to admit they're really cute. And we are here. I do not know which perspective we are at. I don't think we're Theo. Maybe we're Theo. He did change rooms, so this could be Theo's new room. We might still be Theo. We might still be the boy, the Tigor. I'm gonna find out. Oh, what a day. I spent so long in the hospital making sure Monty's condition stabilized, but it never did. Oh, no, Monty! Also, we're Theo, I guess, yeah. In the end, I was kicked out because they had to operate on him. No! Monty! Man, what the fuck is going on? I take a deep breath, feeling the pressure mount against my chest. I only have one more chance tomorrow, and I'm not even sure it'll get me anywhere. I have to at least try. If I get any useful information, I guess I can go back to Javier's place and let him know, even if he doesn't want to see me again. Then, after that, I can probably pack my stuff since I'm leaving tomorrow. I lay down on the bed, my head buried in the mound of pillows. But after what happened today, I can't even begin to process what it all means. My stomach churns as I begin to have second thoughts. Maybe I'm in way over my head. Okay. You are Theo, but Gambare, I believe in you. Who the hell is knocking at this time of night? Oh, that's true. Make sure you use the spy hole. Worried, I get up and approach the door slowly and stare through the spy hole. Huh? There's nobody there. Oh. Concerned, I decide not to open the door. I'm about to turn around when another knock echoes through the door. I peek through the spy hole one more time and see the tip of someone's shoe at the edge. Theodore? Are you there? My blood freezes as I recognize my name through the door, although I fail to recognize who it is with the muffled voice. I slowly back away from the door, weighing my options. Who could it possibly be? Names still running through my head, but none of them make any sense. Are you okay, Theodore? Oh, it's Lawrence. Okay. It's me, Lawrence. Do we trust Lawrence? I mean, I think he's kind of hot, but like that's me having really bad taste. I guess not hot's not the right word, right? Because that's Ro. But he's a sleek individual, you know. He's all right. He's all right. Lawrence, what the hell is he doing here? Out of everyone, he's definitely the last person I would have imagined to visit. Do you not want Magnus to show up? I recheck the spy hole, this time spotting Lawrence's distinct shirt and frame. The one and only. Now, if you don't mind opening the door, it's a bit stale out here. I open the door just enough to get a good look at the wolf. Lawrence, what are you doing here? How did you even find me? There's obvious shock in my voice, which Lawrence picks up on and dismisses it with a wave of his paw. Don't worry about the small details like that. I came looking for you because I'm worried about you. I nod slowly, trying to figure out Lawrence's intent for being here. Worried? What do you mean? How are you feeling, Theodore? Okay. I stare at the wolf, scrupulously, before he shakes his head and sighs. I don't know what you've heard about me from the others, but I'm genuinely worried about you. Working at ARC is a never-ending task, and I've been busy up until now. Visiting you was my first priority. I was wondering if you wanted to have a small chat. Right. Pressing matters. What the heck is he talking about? My mind races, awkwardly trying to... Awkwardly trying to think of a particular reason Lawrence could be here, but coming up short. Maybe he's telling the truth. I should give him the benefit of the doubt. He was the one who saved Ro, after all. I guess not, judging by your face. I take it you don't want me around. I'll be taking my leave. No, wait, Lawrence! Come in, I'm sorry. Today's been really messed up. You don't need to explain. You must be going through a lot, trying to search down the snow leopard and all. Yeah, it's been a mess. Oh, okay. Music. Big, loud. I let the wolf in, and he strolls straight to the window before sitting himself down. He motions to the sky, shaking his head disappointingly. How are you holding up? I'm sure you're exhausted. I let out a sigh, unsure of how to explain myself best. I am. I don't blame you. You've had a long day. I heard what happened from Javier. The two of you had some sort of dispute. Yeah. He told me you wanted to figure out what happened to Ro, track down who was responsible for the shooting. Am I correct? Yeah. You know, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can figure it out on my own. I thought I could, but I was just being stupid. Elaborate. On which part? The snow leopard. I was trying to track them down. It just doesn't make any sense. And who was driving that car? How could they just blindly fire at us like that? Was it all just a coincidence? Yes, that night. I nod, trying my best to repress the memory as best I can. I understand. It must have been an extremely traumatic experience. It's best you forget all about that. That's also why I'm here. What do you mean? Theodore. His tone is firm, but serious but firm as he stares directly at me. Do you want to go home? A curious question. I tilt my head, failing to understand his sudden question. What do you mean? What I mean is, I'll handle everything else from here. There's no need to put yourself at risk. Meaning? I understand your dilemma. Dilemma? Oh, why don't I help you? I'll find the shooter responsible and wrap up this case once and for all. I furrow my brow in confusion, a sense of skepticism brewing as I remember it was Lawrence who told Javier to switch tasks. But I thought you guys were trying to track down the survivor. Didn't you tell Javier to focus on that? That's why he was so dead set on finding the survivor, right? Initially, we had no leads on the survivor's whereabouts. But yes, you are correct. Once they were tracked down, I reassigned the task to locate them to Javier. It was my idea to swap tasks with the fox, since it would be more convenient for all of us. Huh? That's weird. Did Javier mention this earlier? Theodore, how old are you? 20? 21? I'm 23. Why? You're in your prime. You should enjoy it, and not be stuck with these bureaucratic and, esoteric investigations. What I wish to have your free time again. Listen, Theodore, the reason I inquire is due to the protest schedule for tomorrow. It will obstruct major sections of the city, including the airport. It'll be vitally important for you to go home in your current situation. Wait, what? Protests? What are they protesting? And who? Is this related to the election that happened? Did something happen? In short, yes. The very same one with Castleton. I'm sure you've heard of, or seen some form of his influence since you have arrived. The general public isn't very content with the fact that he's trying to run again. But those are the same people that fail to realize Castleton's been the driving force in creating revenue for the city. It's quite ironic, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, I guess. But then can't I just take the next flight after that? He leans in closer and extends out his phone to me. You would think so, but
Rather than explaining, why don't you see for yourself? According to the insider information I've received, there will be a boycott at the airport for a week starting tomorrow morning.
He passes his phone to me, and I study the screen carefully. It's a group chat that appears to include government officials, all discussion on an upcoming boycott. Tomorrow at 7, we'll start the protests at the government sections, and then we'll all do a walkout. We'll storm the downtown core later in the afternoon and make our way to the city hall. There's more discussion that I scroll past, and that's when I realize just how long the chat history is.
Whoa, they've been planning this for months now. The chat history is so long. How do you manage to get added to this group chat? Connections, Theodore, connections. It's not just the airport, mind you. Dozens of government-funded sections will be participating with the widespread boycott, and protests due to Castleton.
Missing a flight is fine, but a whole week? Where would I even stay?
What should I do then? If you want to go home, I can book you for the last flight tonight, or right before the city implodes on itself.
My eyes suddenly widen at Lawrence's generous offer. Is this even the same wolf from earlier this week?
What's the catch? There's no catch. We've only met for a short time, but consider it an act of goodwill. I thank you, but I don't know what to say.
My mind suddenly goes back to Ro, and I feel my expression tighten.
Why the long face? What's wrong? You don't look too happy about my offer. Oh, it's not that. If that's not it, then... If I had to take a guess, is this related to Ro? Am I correct? Yeah, if I leave tonight, then I won't be able to say goodbye to him. But of course, that is true. He did save your life. I suppose it's only normal for you to feel this way. It's okay, I guess, since I already said my goodbyes to him earlier, but still. Are you sure there's no other way?
He doesn't say anything, instead looking out the window, towards the blackened night sky.
Lawrence? Terrible weather we've been having. Wouldn't you agree? I guess so. It's a shame. But that's how things go. Weather can be so unpredictable. Such is the nature of a chaotic system.
He waits for me to respond, but I just stare back, not sure what to say.
Are you familiar with chaos theory? Chaos theory? I think I've heard about it in passing, but I probably need a refresher. Why? Chaos theory studies, Chaos theory studies systems that appear random, but follow precise rules. These systems are extremely sensitive to initial conditions, often referred to as the butterfly effect. Small changes in the starting point that can... wait, what does it say? Small changes in the starting point can lead to vastly different outcomes. Despite being unpredictable, their behavior is determined by the initial conditions, making long-term predictions difficult. Just like the weather. Right. I think I get it. But why bring this up? I believe every decision we make has an impact, regardless of how big or small it may appear. All the decisions we've made have led us to this point. Right now, tensions are high in the city. You feel it too, don't you? The weather, the riots, the civil unrest, the gangs. Something catastrophic is about to happen, and I'd rather not have you caught up in the middle of it. One wrong move and, well, who knows?
He shrugs and chuckles before recomposing himself.
That's the point I'm trying to make. You need to leave as soon as possible. Thus, I'm sure you don't need me to tell you this, but... it's dangerous here, Theodore.
There's that word again. Dangerous. Ever since I've gotten involved, I've heard that word being thrown at me left and right. Maybe it's finally time I listen.
I know. Yeah, I understand. You're right. Glad you here, Reason. Honestly, I feel sorry for all of the other convention goers that are here. They won't know what the hell that. They won't know the hell that's about to happen. So, what exactly is going to happen? What's going to be catastrophic? Take my word for it, Theodore. Given certain circumstances, this is more than just a hunch.
Lawrence takes back his phone and taps a couple buttons before nodding at me.
Regardless, which one is your flight?
The wolf shows me tomorrow's flight schedule, in which I point out mine in the middle of them. He continues to tap a few buttons before pocketing his phone.
All set. You're booked for the last flight tonight. Just like that? But what about the flight I booked? You won't need it anymore.
Lawrence strokes his chin, then frowns.
But I assume you lack any means of transportation to the airport. Yeah, I don't. I suspected as much. Fortunately, I anticipated this and arranged for a limo to be here. That is to say, I can have you sent to the airport, should you desire. Are you sure? You've already done so much for me. I am sure. Think nothing of it. That would be perfect. Thank you. I don't know what to say.
He chuckles and clasps his paws together.
Your flight will be in 5 hours, but I suggest you leave now, unless you have something to take care of. No, there's nothing left for me to do. I think I've done enough. Perfect. Pack up your belongings. I'll inform my chauffeur that will be down momentarily.
Has Lawrence always been like this? Maybe he acts differently when he's alone versus when he's around Ro. It feels a bit fishy, but I can't seem to figure out what ulterior motive he would have for warning me and helping me go home. Maybe he really is being genuine. I walk over and grab my suitcase and bag.
All set. Most of my stuff is already packed. Splendid. Let's be on our way then.
Oh. I check out of the hotel, and then we make our way to the driveway in silence, with Lawrence leading us back to a long black limo idling at the curb.
After you?
He walks over, opening the door for me, signaling me to step inside as he takes my things and heads to the truck. I nervously inch myself inside, trying not to step on any of the fancy leather.
Feel free to make yourself comfortable. Sure. I've never been in something like this before.
He sits behind the driver's seat, positioning himself directly at me. The limo starts to move, but I can barely see anything through the tinted windows. The ride is quiet, with the gray wolf occasionally bouncing his attention between me and the phone in his lap. A sigh escapes me as I realize I'm heading back to my normal life. This is happening, huh? I don't know about that, Theo.
Oh, what's the matter, Theodore? Why the tears?
I look up at Lawrence, and that's when I feel a sense of wetness on my cheeks.
Oh.
I let out an awkward laugh, surprised that I'm actually tearing up.
It's nothing, I swear. It just feels strange to be leaving like this, with how things ended up. I understand how you feel, but it's for the best. We wouldn't want you to be trapped here for another week, do you? Especially when things are about to get chaotic. I'm getting the sense that Lauren doesn't know how to handle situations like this with grace. I nod in agreement, although it's not like I have much of a choice at this point. This whole vacation was a mess. Maybe it's a good thing that Lawrence showed up when he did. Yeah, but you got to meet a bunch of fun people, a bunch of cute people, and we're gonna see them again. The car eventually stops after what felt like a long, drawn-out, silent 30 minutes. We're here. Finally, at last.
Oh, it is the airport. I was thinking we were gonna exit out at, like, the power plant, and Thea was just gonna get gunned down, Maybe something like that, That's where my brain was going with all of this. We both exit, and I see Lawrence's chauffeur, a small white tiger, slowly unloading my belongings. They notice me staring and give me a devious smile before returning inside.
Here, take this.
And he extends a small black plastic card, which I carefully examine. Looks like some kind of membership card with the airlines.
Show this when you check in. You'll have no issues getting back home, especially when you're in first class. First class? Lawrence, you honestly didn't have to. How much did that even cost? I don't have that kind of money to repay you. Nonsense! You don't owe me a thing. I told you before. I'm doing this because I want to. The price isn't an issue here. It's just to ensure as long as you have a safe and comfortable flight back, and first class was the only available spot left. But I digress. Thank you. I'm speechless right now.
Despite what I thought of Lawrence, he isn't that bad of a guy after all. And though he wasn't like this before, I wonder what caused the sudden change of heart.
Lawrence, if you don't mind me asking, when you talked with Javier earlier, what did you guys talk about specifically when you were over? Nothing interesting. Debriefing and reconnecting to the investigation. You know how these things go by now. Right. So, how did you know I was trying to look for the snow leopard then? Yes. Javier told me about that afterwards, hence why I came looking for you.
I nod and frown slowly, a frown slowly forming again.
Right.
But didn't Javier mention his phone was broken or something? He did. Both of us turn around to see Lawrence's chauffeur waving him over.
I'd love to stay and chat, but you know, airports demand promptness.
I hope that's that word.
I really must be going now. I can't afford to idle here for too long, even at this late hour. Safe travels, Theodore. It was a pleasure meeting you.
The wolf gives me a light pat on the shoulder before slipping back inside the car. I watch as the sleek black limo glides away, vanishing down the road. Slowly, I turn around and face the familiar airport where I had arrived just a week ago.
Well,
I let out a sigh, feeling a whirlwind of emotions, but I managed to maintain my composure.
I guess it's time to go home.
They said. Hey, though. What are we doing? Where we going? Eh? Eh? Oh, are we Javier? Are we the Javier? I think we are. That would make sense to me. Of all the places the survivor could be, it had to be the cliffs. Okay, there we go. Accidentally clicked out of the window. It's annoying how I have to do this. It's fine. One look at this miserable place, and it's clear why no one lives here anymore. I see the shoreline not too far from where I am. Several of the apartments built along there have collapsed and crumbled into the ocean. It's more surprising than that anyone still lives here. Being here in person, I guess the rumors were true. How unfortunate. The fog certainly doesn't help add to the creepy atmosphere here either. I continue to tread down the dark, barren streets carefully, only stopping when I spot a peculiar-looking landmark through the dense fog. Thankfully, the place I'm scouting is far enough from the shore, so everything should be stable. The faster I wrap up this case, the faster I can visit Roe. Looks like I'm here. Grabbing the phone in my pocket, I compare it to the building in front of me. It's hard to make out the details, but the silhouette match is almost perfect. No doubt about it. Get in and get out. I don't want to stay here for too long. I don't know how many squatters and crackheads are around. I take out my phone that I had thankfully fixed and turn on the voice memo. I've just arrived at the cliffs. It's 9:04 a.m., presumably, and there doesn't appear to be any signs of people, which I expected. Making my way to the point of interest now. I turn around, my body on high alert at the sound. Instead of waiting for another sound, I dash across the street toward the apartment. Now that I'm closer, there are peculiar dark stains splattered across the entrance, with one of the glass doors completely shattered. This doesn't bode well. I step closer, just enough to spot the residents listing, barely hanging on the entranceway. All of the names have been crossed out or removed. All but one. HF? 401. The inner entrance door had been bolted shut, with several rusted chains wrapping the handle. Entrance is barred off. We'll find another way in. I slowly make my way out and walk the perimeter of the building, searching for any potential way in. Paranoid, I check my bit flipper again. There's still no reading. In fact, this is the lowest amount of activity I've ever measured. There's practically nothing happening around. I turn around and swear I spot a large dark figure disappearing around a corner. Despite how quiet and abandoned this neighborhood is, there are definitely still people living here. I pick up the pace. Quietly, I grab the taser. Quietly, I grab the taser from my pocket and continue walking, picking up speed as I turn the corner. Eventually, I make my way to the back of the building and spot a set of rusted doors propping up with a brick. How wonderful. I try to calm my nerves, but it's hard when Ro's not around in a place like this. All he cares. He's just feeling like, oh, I miss my partner. My eyeball. Appearing through the door, I aim my phone's flashlight inside, immediately cringing when I spot a long set of moldy stairs leading up to God knows where. Some sort of fire escape, huh? I bite the bullet. Okay, yep. Slowly traversing up the stairs, making sure to cover my nose along the way. I'm going to need to steam clean my entire body when I get back. The filth in here is revolting. Step by step, I trudge up the stairs, periodically stopping to catch my breath. After a moment, I reach the 4th floor, immediately noticing the 4th floor hallway door is seemingly broken and torn from its hinges. This is where HF is staying, the only person left in this apartment. Oh, now look at that! This is some Silent Hill shit. Love that. That's great. Do any of you like the hospital level in Silent Hill 2? I really like that level. Like, it's terrifying. I hate it, but so cool. I peek into the hallway. It's trashed and dark, except for a few patches of working lights illuminating the mess. You've got to be kidding me! As I decide to walk down the hall, I stop in my tracks as I spot a door at the back slowly opening. I take cover, but notice a small, old gray fox walking out with a cane, chuckling as she quickly hobbles over. Don't think I don't see you there. I step out and nod to the old lady, still gripping tight to the taser in my paw. Oh my, what's a handsome young man doing at a place like this? I'm looking for someone. Not me, I take it. Because I hadn't had visitors in ages. Now that she's in front of me, she looks extremely out of place with the rest of the place here. She doesn't have any burn marks on her arm and looks nothing like the photo Lawrence gave me. Son, I think you got the wrong town. No one lives here except me. No one at all. No one. Not even these apartments by the shore. Not even those apartments. Not the houses by the plantation. She continues to drone on and on, listing what I can only assume are places where people used to live nearby. What about you, then? What are you doing here, if I may ask? It's awfully quiet here, and that's what I like. She frowns and sighs. But I can't leave. I don't have anywhere else to go, so I stay here and look after Mittens. Mittens? Mittens. The fox doesn't elaborate. I can only assume she's talking about some kind of pet. She gives me an eerie smile, too wide for her face, causing me to recoil in disgust. Ah, but where are my manners? My name is Helen. Javier. Her face lights up like she remembers something and nods. What a lovely name. I used to know someone named Javier. Actually, there was someone I saw the other day. Did they have a burn mark on their arm? She tilts her head and ponders for a moment before nodding. What is a burn mark? It could be. It was most certainly a scar. I nod, slowly trying to digest everything, holding myself back for asking her too much about her situation. She looks around and then motions me back to her place. Well, Javier, would you like to come inside? It'll be a much better place to talk than out here in the hall. Oh, that's odd that she would notice me at the end of the hall, step out and invite me on such short notice, but I guess living alone in a place like this warrants some company. Okay, if it's no bother for you. Nonsense. It's a bit messy, though, so I hope you don't mind. We stroll down the hallway. That's when I notice the door to the other units are being battered and torn down or barricaded and barred shut. What happened here? Oh. I think I'll end the part here. We'll continue to have happy, fun times with Javier next time, everyone. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys around.